Sam, great to see you today. What attracted you to begin a career in technology?
Good to see you too, Lauren. It was a bit of a strange way to reach this job in data, well, in technology services. I started as a musician, very different field. I was doing some teaching and I was also interested in science. So I was studying maths and science at uni part-time whilst teaching. And I sort of just got a bit sick of teaching and decided to do a master's of data science. But I didn't want to just go straight into, say, doing a PhD in physics or something and get really sort of funneled into that research sort of industry and all the sort of the grind of that. I wanted to have something a bit more open. I realized data was a great option because how applicable it is to many different industries. And then I was lucky to meet Cam quite shortly after starting that. He gave me an opportunity to start working a bit in the data space. And I think the consultant part of it is almost my favorite thing because of the teaching. I really liked explaining things to people and working things out and communicating. So it just feels like a good combination of a bunch of different skills that I've had. So it's been a bit of a random path to get here, but I'm really enjoying it.
Oh, that's great, Sam. That's really interesting, the trajectory you've taken to get to this point. What emerging trends are you noticing in the industry?
Obviously, AI is a massive,
Mhm.
massive one. I was lucky enough to join as ChatGPT became a big thing. So all of my coding questions can be delegated to ChatGPT rather than my boss. So
Yeah.
that's been nice. Yeah. So obviously, that's a lot of companies are trying to jump onto that. Also, security risks, I would say, are
Hmm.
becoming more prominent and more widely known as well.
Yeah, for sure. And what advice would you give to a young person looking to enter into this space?
Just putting yourself out there, I guess, would be good. That I guess that's how I got into it,
Hmm.
and be willing to learn a bunch. I think one of the exciting things is every day is actually quite different. I didn't expect an IT job to be like that. I thought it would be quite
Hmm.
repetitive. Being able to learn, I would say, and not being afraid to make mistakes as long as your boss can kind of cover it. He sort of pushes me to learn new things all the time, and it's a good relationship, but I know that he will check over my work to make sure I'm not publishing something that won't work. So I would just say taking on as many things as you can
Yeah,
would be
that's
my
great
advice.
advice. And finally, Sam, if you could give two simple tips to someone watching today on how to better manage their data, what would they be?
A good one that I picked up is on a personal level is getting a password manager. And that
Hmm.
way you can generate unique passwords and it just stores them all. So the only password you have to remember is the one to your manager. And that way, if someone somehow guesses a password for one thing, they can't just automatically know all of your passwords.
Yes.
Also, two-factor authentication on all your apps. And yeah, and I think from a business perspective, it's good to have maybe someone who oversees all of the company's data strategy so that they can sort of bring together some common terms or KPIs or things like that. Another thing is to just try and automate and store your data probably on the cloud these days as a
Mhm.
backup so that if you lose your data, you don't get put many weeks or months behind and you can kind of quickly get back on the ground.
That's great advice, Sam. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure and can't wait to see you progress on your data journey.
Thanks very much, Lauren. Good,
Thanks,
good to
Sam.
chat to you.
You too. Bye.
All right. See ya.